In a world newly blessed, or perhaps cursed, with the power of foreknowledge, a man named Buppert Rutherford stood on the precipice of a decision that few before him had the chance to make. Everyone could see their own death if they chose, a final morbid dance with destiny that had changed society in unimaginable ways. For some, knowing their death day made them more cautious, turning them into hermits who lived on borrowed time. Others, knowing their life was long, lived with reckless abandon, a fact that often resulted in more near misses than they had probably hoped for. Buppert, though, was different. He was an average man with an average life. He worked a 9-to-5 job, he paid his bills, he enjoyed a pint at the local pub on Fridays. But he was always curious about what lied beyond the bend. So when the world began to offer the peculiar ability to glimpse the ultimate fate, Buppert found the idea enticing. One cloudy afternoon, he found himself in front of the towering edifice of Destiny Vision Inc., the corporation offering the chance to peek into the end. With a nervous gulp and a steely resolve, Buppert walked in, his heart pounding like a war drum in his chest. He sat in a sterile white room, staring at the machine that would show him his death. It was simpler than he expected, not unlike a VR headset. As he placed it over his eyes, he took a deep breath and braced himself. A myriad of images, sounds, and feelings rushed through him. When it was over, Buppert sat silent for a while, processing the information he had just received. He hadn't died as a hero or a villain. He died peacefully, surrounded by family, with a grandchild tugging at his grayed locks. He would die old, and he would die loved. As Buppert walked home, a certain calm washed over him, a serenity he hadn't felt before. His every step felt lighter, and he couldn't help but grin. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Buppert lived with the knowledge of his death, and to his surprise, it changed him. He began reaching out to old friends, reconnecting with estranged family members. He put more effort into his relationships, understanding that they were the people who would be there in his final moments. It was an invigorating change, one that Buppert had never anticipated. However, life has a funny way of throwing a spanner in the works when least expected. Buppert fell terribly ill one day, just a year after his death vision. It was a virulent disease, incurable and deadly. As he lay on the hospital bed, a sense of confusion overtook him. "But I'm supposed to die old," he thought, his mind reeling. As he battled the disease, Buppert's memories of the death vision flickered back. He remembered the grandchild, the feeling of being loved, and most importantly, the room. He remembered how it felt warm, how it smelled of vanilla, and how it had a distinct yellow wallpaper. It was a room he had never seen before. Suddenly, it dawned upon him. His death vision was not a lie, it was a surprise he had yet to understand. He started recovering, slowly but surely. The doctors called it a miracle. But Buppert knew it wasn't just luck. It was the will to reach the moment he had seen, the desire to meet the people who were yet to enter his life. Years later, Buppert found himself in a room he instantly recognized. It was warm, it smelled of vanilla, and yes, it had a distinct yellow wallpaper. His grandchild was tugging at his grayed locks, his family by his side. A sense of déjà vu washed over him, but it was accompanied by peace, love, and the satisfaction of a life well lived. In a world where everyone knew their death, Buppert Rutherford didn't just live with the knowledge of his end, he lived for it. His story was an unexpected twist in the grand narrative of the human condition, a tale of a man who chose to peek at his end and found, not despair, but a guide to a fulfilled life. Thank you for listening. Feel free to share, like, and subscribe. Thank you very much.